Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Under CET NEET topic, we are discussing about the chapter human reproduction. So here in the first worksheet, so students take out the worksheet and we have completed till question number 43 in the previous sessions. Let's start with question number 44. Which of the following depicts the correct sequence or the correct pathway of transport of the sperms? See, sperms are produced inside the testis. There are structural and functional unit of the testis called as the seminiferous tubules. So these seminiferous tubules, from where the sperms are produced by a process called as spermatogenesis, and from there it will move to the red testis, and from there it moves to the vasa efferentia. Then from vasa efferentia later it will go to the epididymis, then the vas deferens, the spermatic duct, and come in contact with the different accessory glands like the seminal vesicle, the prostate gland, bulbourethral gland, and comes to the urethra, and from the urethra, which is a common urinogenital duct, from where the sperms are released out of the human body. So identify the correct sequence, the different sequence or the pathway, how the sperms are transferred among the different options given. So see the option 1, red testis, then vas deferens they are given. Then given efferent ductules. Vas efferentia is also called as efferent ductules. That is not the correct option. See the option 2, efferent ductules, then red testis they are given, then vas deferens, then epididymis they are given. Whether it is the correct option? Option no. Next, see the third option, red testis, then comes the efferent ductules, and then epididymis, then comes the vas deferens. That seems to be a correct option. Let's see option 4, red testis, then epididymis, then efferent ductules, then vas deferens. That is not the correct sequence. The right sequence is the option 3. Let's move to question number 45. Match the column 1 with the column 2 and select the correct option using the codes given below. So in the column 1, they have given the different reproductive organs of male as well as the female part. Then in the column 2, they have given the secretions. So you have to match the column 1 with the column 2. A, mons pubis, B, antrum, C, trophectoderm, then D is nebuncon. So what is a mons pubis? It is an inverted and triangular shaped protruding of fatty tissue, okay, over the pubic bone in the human females, and it is the part of the female external genitalia, that is the mons pubis. So what is antrum then? So antrum is nothing but the portion of the Graafian follicle, and this antrum, it is filled by fluid that is called as the follicular fluid. The follicular fluid, also called as the liquor folliculi, follicular fluid, so called as liquor folliculi. It contains different hormones. Okay. Now what is the third option says? Trophectoderm. Trophectoderm cells. These are or trophoderm cells in simply. They are nothing but the outermost layer which is found on the blastocyst. Mammalian blastula is called as the blastocyst. So the outermost layer of the blastocyst, it is called as the trophectoderm or trophoderm. Okay. So these are the first to differentiate from a fertilized egg and further helps in the development of the embryo. That is the option third. Now see the option 4, Nebenkearn. What is Nebenkearn? So it is a remarkable mitochondrial formation in the sperm. Mitochondrial formation in the sperm. It's called as Nebenkearn. So just after the meiosis is completed, that meiosis means reduction division. So the mitochondria of the spermatid that collect on one side of the haploid pronucleus. One side of the haploid pronucleus, it is collected, the mitochondria of the spermatid. You know, the mitochondria are called as the powerhouse of the cell and it helps for giving energy to the sperm and for sperm motility. Okay, that is the function of the mitochondria. It fuses together into two giant aggregates. So it is found near the spermatid mitochondria and the spermatid collect on one side of the haploid pronucleus and fuse together into the two giant aggregates. So here you have to remember the mitochondria of the spermatid collect on one side of the haploid pronucleus. Mitochondria as well as the haploid pronucleus, they fuse to form a very giant aggregate. So that is these aggregated mitochondria. They wrap around one another to produce the spherical Nebenkearn. That is called as the Nebenkearn. And this mitochondria you can see, if you remember the structure of the sperm, at the middle piece region of the sperm. That is the Nebenkearn. So pronucleus means either of a pair of gametic nuclei in the stage following meiosis, but before their fusion leads to the formation of the nucleus of the zygote. Pronucleus means the nucleus which is formed before the actual nucleus, that is the pronucleus. There is a male nucleus as well as the female nucleus. They will fuse together to form a diploid zygote, correct? So before the fusion, the male nucleus, it is better known as male pronucleus, and the female nucleus is better known as the female pronucleus. So that pronucleus fused with the mitochondria and forms a giant aggregate that spirally coiled in the middle piece, and that region is called as the Nebenkearn. Now you know the meaning. Now you match these with the secretions which is given in the column 2. So mons pubis, what is that? It matches with the 3, that is the female external genitalia. B, antrum, it matches with the Graafian follicle. Trophectoderm, it matches with the embryo formation. Nebenkearn is the part, it is nothing but the sperm. So the right option is the option 4 or option D. Let's move to the next question, number 46. Several hormones like SCG means human chorionic gonadotrophin, HPL means human placental lactogen, estrogen and progesterone are produced by, these are all produced by, we are discussed many times, yes, you are correct students, it is 4 or D, placenta. It is not the fallopian tube. Fallopian tube means the oviduct, which is the part of the female reproductive organ. Pituitary is the master gland which secretes the pituitary hormones. Ovary is nothing but the female reproductive organ. Let's move to question number 47. In the human females, the number of primary follicles left in each ovary at puberty is the age when the sexual maturity takes place in males and females at the age of 12 to 13 years. That is called as the puberty. In human females, the number of primary follicles left, how many? That is 60,000 to 80,000, option 3. So you know what are primary follicles? The oogonia or the egg mother cell, there are millions are produced which undergo division, which undergo mitosis. They forms the primary oocyte, and it is surrounded by layer of granulosa cells and it forms the primary follicles. So there are many number of primary follicles, in millions they are produced. They produce in the embryonic stage only, that is in the fetal embryo only, but from the birth, when they enter into the puberty, many are degenerates and only few are left. So what is that number they asked in the question? That is 60,000 to 80,000, that is option 3. Let's move to the question number 48. A temporary endocrine gland in the human body is 1. Pineal gland, 2. Corpus caardiacum, 3. Corpus luteum, 4. Corpus allatum. Now, which is the temporary endocrine gland? Endocrine glands have secretions called as hormones. These are the ductless glands and they pour their secretions called as hormones directly into the bloodstream without the involvement of any ducts or tubes. Now coming to the first option, that is the pineal gland. Pineal gland secretes a hormone called as the melatonin, you know that. So this melatonin level is high when there is a darkness. So the light will degrade the melatonin. So melatonin induces sleep in the individuals. That is why when there is dark, you will feel drowsy and sleepy, not in the daytime. Okay, so the light will interfere with your sleep pattern. So the best time to sleep is at the night when there is a dark, because there will be more and more melatonin hormones is produced in your body. So melatonin is a very important hormone which regulates your sleep cycle. That is not a temporary endocrine gland, it is a permanent endocrine gland. See the option 3, corpus luteum. Yes, corpus luteum is a temporary endocrine gland. After the rupture of Graafian follicles, the Graafian follicles will change into a structure that is called as the corpus luteum, which is a temporary endocrine gland. And this gland secretes the female pregnancy hormone, that is the progesterone. And progesterone is very important for maintaining the pregnancy because it maintains the wall of the uterus or womb, that is the uterine endometrium layer, and it helps for the attachment of the fertilized egg, that is blastocyst, to the wall of the uterus on the 7th to 9th day of the pregnancy. Then corpus luteum also secretes certain hormones like estrogen in some amount, also inhibin in some amount. Okay. So if there is no pregnancy, then the corpus luteum will degenerates, and it will left as a scar, and that scar is called as the corpus albicans. Next, what is corpus cardiacum? See the option 2, corpus cardiacum. So this is a type of endocrine gland. It is found in insects, not in mammals. Corpus luteum is found in mammals, but corpus cardiacum in insects. So these are the pair of neuroglandular body. What are these? Pair of neuroglandular body. Corpus cardiacum found in insects, pair of neuroglandular body. Note down the point. And it is found at the base of the brain. Found at the base of the brain. It is a neurohormone, and it acts like a neurotransmitter molecules, helps for transmitting the signals from one end of the nerve cell, neuron, to another end of the nerve cell or the neuron. Similarly, what is the next option says, that is corpus allatum. Corpus allatum. This is also a temporary, it is also endocrine gland, or temporary endocrine gland, and it is found in insects, not in the mammals. So what is the function? It secretes a juvenile hormone. It secretes a juvenile hormone. In short, it is called as JH. Now this juvenile hormone is helpful for the process of metamorphosis in insects. So what do you mean by metamorphosis? It is a developmental stage. It is a developmental stage in insects. So there are eggs. Eggs will hatch and they forms the larvae. The larvae will undergo process called as molting. Molting, also called as ecdysis. They will cast off their outermost skin many times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, several times, 13 times in case of cockroach. So eggs will hatch into larvae, larvae undergoes molting, and it will pupate, shall undergo pupal stage, resting stage, and then the adults will form. Adult insects formed. So for this metamorphosis, for the developmental stage, the hormone, that is juvenile hormone, is very essential. So if this juvenile hormone is secreted in excess amount in the larval stage, then it causes the gigantism, means the adult will become more bulky and more huge, large. But if it is secreted in less amount, then their molting stage, there are different stages of molting, 1, 2, 3, 4, it will not complete, and it will form early pupa, and the adults which are formed, which are having very short body size. So under secretion is also not good, and over secretion is also not good. Like in humans, there is a growth hormone. If the under secretion of growth hormone means it causes dwarfism, the person will be abnormally short. And if there is more secretion, over secretion of the growth hormone, then it causes the gigantism. That means the person will be abnormally very tall. Like that only in case of insects, if this juvenile hormone is produced in less amount, you will get miniature insects. And if you have this hormone, and if the insects having this hormone in large amount, get a gigantism. That means very more bulky insects is formed. So that is the function of this juvenile hormone. Okay. So corpus cardiacum and corpus allatum, it is found in the insects, not in the mammals. So those are not the right options. So they have asked about the human body. Humans are mammals, correct? So it is found in insect group. It is called as order Diptera. In the order Diptera. Okay. So both these are forms a ring-like structure. Both these forms a ring-like structure. Means both this corpus cardiacum and corpus allatum, they forms a ring-like structure, and they are fused ring-like structure, and that is called as Weismann's ring. It's called as Weismann's ring. Both these forms means they are fused. This is corpus cardiacum and allatum. Fused form Weismann's ring. So the right option is option 3. Next we will move to the question number 49. GnRH means gonadotrophic releasing hormone, a hypothalamic hormone which is produced by the hypothalamus region of the brain, needed in reproduction. They acts on what? 1. Either anterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of LH and oxytocin. 2. Anterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of LH and FSH. 3. Posterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of oxytocin and FSH. Or 4. Posterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of LH and relaxin. Let's come to the option. Option B or 2, just see. Anterior pituitary gland, GnRH, a hypothalamic hormone, is needed in the reproduction, acts on the anterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of LH, luteinizing hormone, and FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone, and helps in the development of gonads, that is testis in case of male individuals and ovaries in case of female individuals. Not oxytocin. Oxytocin is secreted by the posterior pituitary gland. Okay. So the right answer for the question number 49 is the option B, that is anterior pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of LH and FSH, which helps in the development of gonads. Relaxin means it's a hormone secreted by the placenta, right, and it helps for the relaxation of the cervix and helps for the childbirth. Next, we'll move to the last question of this worksheet, that is question number 50. Capacitation occurs in 1. Red testis, 2. Epididymis, 3. Vas deferens, 4. Female reproductive tract. There are millions of sperms are produced from the female, from the male, that is from the penis. It is discharged into the female reproductive tract. So millions of sperms are produced from the testis, and out of those millions of sperms, only few will enter near the egg, and only one sperm is able to fuse with the female nucleus. That capacity of the sperm is called as capacitation. Okay, and that is by the changes takes place in the outermost layer of the head of the sperm. Okay, and there will be changes in the outermost membrane of the egg, that is called as a zona pellucida, and it is induced by the sperm only. There are inside the sperm different structures present, and one of the structure is the acrosome. It's a cap shaped structure which is found above the nucleus, and they have different enzymes like hyaluronidase, zona lysine, then corona radiata, dissolving enzymes. So these enzymes bring some changes in the layer of the egg, that is the zona pellucida, and once the one sperm go and attaches the zona pellucida, then it restricts the entry of the other sperms near the vicinity. Okay, the one who comes first in the race, that sperm is having the chance to mate with the egg nucleus, and other sperms are all discarded off. Okay, so that capacity of the sperm, that is called as the capacitation. So the sperm need to be having the capacity to fuse with the egg, that is the capacitation. So where does it take place? It cannot take place outside the body of the female. It has to be takes place inside the body of the female. So the right option is the option D, that is female reproductive tract. Capacitation occurs in the female reproductive tract, neither in the red testis, nor in the epididymis, nor in the vas deferens. These are all different parts of the male reproductive organ, and it takes place inside the female reproductive tract. So the students, by this we have completed the first worksheet, the worksheet number 1 for the chapter human reproduction. So take down all the important points which I have written on the board, and also take down my lecture notes, and thank you for watching the video.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.